Automatically, or whether the library check was right about it.
I got a little notice.
So I'm seeing a little status bar. I'm no longer seeing Emma. I'm seeing now a little.
I'm seeing you, Sans.
Oh,
That's Emma. Clear whether the.
Okay.
Sandy, you were
so I'm
showing
seeing
on
a
the
little
screen in this
status bar.
video
I'm no
when
longer seeing Emma. I'm seeing now a little.
I'm seeing you, Sans.
Oh,
That's Emma. Clear whether the.
Emma, go.
Sandy, you were
So I'm seeing
on
a
the
little
screen in this
status bar.
video
I'm no
when
longer seeing Emma. I'm seeing now a little.
I'm seeing you, Sans.
Oh, Emma is pinned. Emma, go. So I'm seeing a little status bar. I'm no longer seeing Emma. I'm seeing now a little. Emma is pinned.
Sandy, turn the volume off because you're listening to me through the screen. You're not listening to me through a phone.
Emma is pinned.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you for bearing through this storm with us this evening. I'm so happy to have you joining me live stream though, and we are going to begin tonight in our Siddur if you have one with you, or you can use the PDF version with us. We are on page 24. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Meshach avdecha el retzonecha Meshach avdecha yalai lai 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 el ritzonecha yaru avdecha kemo ayal yishtachave yalai lai el muhadarecha yarutz avdecha kemo ayal yishtachave yalai el muhadarecha Yedid nefesh av harachaman Yedid nefesh av harachaman Meshach avdecha El ritzonecha Meshach avdecha yalai lai el ritzonecha. We continue responsively at the bottom of page 25 under reading Aleph. Sing a new song to Adonai. Sing to Adonai, all the earth. Let the earth ring out in song to God. Sing to Adonai a new song. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let the field exult and all its creatures. Let the trees of the forest sing for joy. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai a new song. Let the rivers clap hands. Let the mountains sing for joy. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Break forth, sing aloud, shout praise. We continue on page 29 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikadem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Page 30. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shidaberi, kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi Lechadati likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mekabela. Lechadati likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mekabela. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 32 for the last verse and turn to the entrance of your house. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uvtzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lechadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabla. Lechadodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabla. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uvtzola. Toch emunei am segula, boi chala. If you're rising, you may be seated. And we continue on page 34, responsively. How can I sing of day and night when it is God who formed them? How can I sing of heaven and earth when it is God who decreed them? How can I sing of mountains and hills when it is God who planted them? How can I sing of seas and deserts when it is God who begot them? And how can I sing of earth and its fullness when it is God who bade them be? I shall sing to God who fashioned all and is beyond all. It is to God I shall sing. We rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 36 for the Baruch Hu. And if you know which way is east, you can face that direction. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, la, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach. Hamevorach leolam vaed. Hamevorach, hamevorach leolam vaed. You may be seated as we continue on page 37 in the middle underneath Bet. God of all the worlds, how insignificant we are in your sight and how minute in your presence. You are creator of a universe so vast that the effort to conceive it overwhelms the mind. Our mightiest telescopes scan but a corner of it. The rays of light that reach us from distant galaxies began their journey long before we came to be. Counted from first creation, the earth we live on was born but yesterday, and we made our appearance on it only a moment ago. When we consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established, what is humanity that you are mindful of us? What are we mortals that you consider us? Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. We continue on page 38 with Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadata, al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu, uvkmeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratacha, uvmitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki heim chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, ubahem negeyamam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. As we turn to page 40 for the Shema, we rise in body or spirit. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shiftecha b'veitecha, uv'lachtecha v'derech, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha, ug'shartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkaru, va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kadoshim le'Elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihyot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem emet. As we turn to page 42, you may be seated. And we continue in the middle of the page. All this we hold to be true and certain. The eternal alone is our God, there is none else, and we are Israel, God's people. Our divine protector delivers us from the hand of human oppressors and saves us from the fists of tyrants. You perform wonders without number, marvels that surpass our understanding. You urge us toward life and revive us when we stumble. You did wonders for us in Egypt, miracles and marvels in the land of Pharaoh. You led your people Israel out, forever to serve you in freedom. When your children beheld your power, they praised you and gave you thanks. Freely they accepted your sovereignty, and Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you with great joy. We continue on page 44. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefela, nora tehilot osefela. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe. Za'elianu ve'amru, za'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. We continue on page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shamreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, V'taknenu, b'etzah tova milfanecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shamreinu l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu, aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shamreinu l'chaim. We continue at the top of page 47 under the tapestry of our Jewish heritage. The strength of a piece of cloth is in it threads of the strength of a piece of cloth is in the threads of which the whole is woven. The tapestry of our Jewish heritage has in it threads of many colors, from bright gold to somber black. With its colors echoing the events of time, this tapestry was begun thousands of years ago. Its weaving will continue for the many thousands of years to come. The first strands slid through the fingers of Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Their thread was strong, their colors were brilliant. The pattern grew, the length increased, and the stories of our heroines and heroes, their deeds, their lives, were woven into a cloth of beauty and lasting strength. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. Ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yeheshmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam ulal me'amaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudasha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'yimaru. Amen. We rise in body or in spirit as we turn to page 50 for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Sarah Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Rivka Elohei Yaakov Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chazdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Gula Lifnei V'Neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayei hakol atah Rav Loshia Mechalkel Chaim b'chesed Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim Samech noflim, rofe cholim, umatir asurim, kayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidam melach, melech memit chaye, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'nemanata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yam yehalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated if you are standing. And we continue on page 53 in English. Those who keep Shabbat and call it a delight shall rejoice in your presence. All who make the seventh day holy shall rejoice in your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, symbol of the joy of creation. Our God and God of our ancestors, take pleasure in our rest. Enable us to realize holiness through your mitzvot. Give us our portion in your Torah. Let us enjoy the good things of your world and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Help us, O eternal God, to preserve your holy Sabbath with love and joy. Let all Israel They who sanctify your name rest upon this day. We praise you, Eternal One, who sanctifies Shabbat. We continue on page 55 under Gimel. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. And now Shabbat has come. Can it help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time? Can it contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life? When all days abandon me, Shabbat abide. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat abide. Be gracious, eternal God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. Oh, may our worship be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst and among our people in Zion. We praise you, Eternal One, who brings your Shekhinah to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir Shechinato l'Tzion. We continue at the bottom of page 59. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Eloheinu. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Eloheinu. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai. We continue on page 63. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. Bechol eit ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We pause for a moment of silent personal reflection. We continue on page 66 with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol B'nei Adam. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol B'nei Adam. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. I invite you to join me on page 133 for the words of Mishaberach, as we ask for blessing of healing, healing of body, healing of spirit, healing of soul, for those in our families, in our community, and in our world. This Shabbat, our Solel community is thinking especially of Leah Haller, Harry Richter, Francis Hernick, Wilfred Walker, Shirley Herman, Esther Wochenmarkt, Rick Valentine, Marlene Friedman, Jack Kudlatz, Suzanne Scher-Stimson, Bernie McLennan, Harriet Lawman, Jill Rich, Mr. Nicola Proietti, Eliyahu Ben Yitzchak Vesara, Rebecca Bodville, Parker Kaiko, Philip Shepard, Carl Katz, Nicole Hansen, Raina Rowan, Yolande Naruzzi, Madeline Kitson, Kathy Kitson, Dee Hickey, Lorraine DaCosta, Adela Zur, Al Lofsky, Evelyn Tyndall, Amanda Schenk, Daniel Black, Jean Elizabeth Pitt, Shmuel Ben Devora, Pauline Portnoy, Erwin Milgram, Karen Smith, Francis Van Tyne, and David Wozniak. And I invite you to hold the names of those you are praying for on this Shabbat as we sing these words of blessing. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Avoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imoteinu Mekor HaBracha Le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So our Torah portion this weekend is the Parsha of Miketz, which is Genesis chapters 41, verse 1 through 44, verses 17. And it's a Torah portion where quite a bit happens. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's 2 dreams and predicts 7 years of prosperity, followed by 7 years of famine. Pharaoh places Joseph in charge of food collections and distribution. Joseph gets married and has 2 sons. Joseph's brothers come to Egypt to buy food during the famine, and Joseph accuses them of being spies, holding Simeon hostage, while the rest of the brothers return to Canaan to get Benjamin. And the brothers return to Egypt with Benjamin to get more food, and Joseph continues to test them, falsely accusing Benjamin of stealing and declaring that he, Benjamin, is to remain in Egypt as Joseph's slave. It's possibly one of my favorite stories, and the past week, well, couple of weeks leading up to this, I have been doing almost nothing but listening to the to the soundtrack of Joseph and the Technical Multicolored Dreamcoat. But as I was listening to it, I started thinking about what we learn from this parsha, and I started kind of automatically going to the parts where Joseph sees his brothers for the first time in a very long time, and how he tests them. Then I went back and I reread the part about the dreams, actually, and I really got thinking, where else do dreams occur in the Torah? It turns out that they occur a lot more than I thought. There's Jacob, who has the dream of angels going up and down the ladder, which was kind of the first one that came to my mind. And of course, the multitude of dreams in the story of Joseph. Joseph himself having the dreams with the sun and the moon and stars bowing to him, and the dreams that he tells his brothers of all of their sheaves of wheat bowing to him. Joseph's inmates when he's in jail in Egypt, where the chief cupbearer has a dream where he takes grapes from the vine branches, and they are beautiful, and he squeezes them into the Pharaoh's cup and presents the cup to the Pharaoh. And then, of course, the baker, also in prison with Joseph, has his dream with the baskets of bread, but then the birds come and pick all of the bread away. And of course, Pharaoh's famous dreams of the 7 fat cows and being followed by the 7 skinny and sickly cows, and of course the 7 heads of grain as well along that theme, then being followed with the 7 withered heads of grain. The ones that I didn't really remember were Avimelech, who makes a move to marry Sarah, but has a dream encounter with God, in which God says that Sarah's married and that Avimelech would be doomed if he went through with the marriage. And Bilam, who actually I had to kind of do a little bit of reading into because I couldn't remember that at all. But he was the one that had the dream encounter with God when he was supposed to follow King Balak's orders of cursing the Israelites, and instead he ended up blessing them. And of course, those are just a few of the dreams. So like I said, the first couple of dreams I totally remembered, but Avimelech and Bilam took me a bit. And when I was done looking into those a bit more, I was left with 2 burning questions. 1, why do dreams seem so important in the earlier part of the Torah and then seem to completely disappear? And 2, should we be delving into and listening to our dreams more than what we do? This is the one where I got a little bit stuck. I don't know the answer to my first question. I kind of feel like as the Torah goes on, God seems to become a little bit less directly involved and a little less active. So maybe this is why the communication through dreams disappears, or maybe as we, as humans, morph from the events in the Torah to the hard and fast events of history, we've become a little less open to receiving messages from God and believing that answers and messages can be found in science or technology alone. The second question, though, I have been able to find a little bit of an insight, although not nearly enough to say that I've totally found an answer I'm happy with. But I did find an article in the Jewish Chronicle of 2017, by Rabbi Dr. Moshe that I'd like to share with you. I found it gave me some food for thought on this subject, and I hope you enjoy it. Just give me a moment to open it up here. So it's called, Do Our Dreams Have Any Meaning? What goes on inside our minds when we are asleep may still be significant, even in a post-prophetic age. It is perhaps the most mysterious of all common human experiences. Traversing a plethora of cultural divides throughout time, mankind has sought to make sense of our bizarre nighttime visions. Although there are some who believe dreams are nothing more than arbitrary images produced when our brains continue operating when we sleep, many neuroscientists and psychologists accept the growing body of evidence that our dreams are significant and influenced by our psyche, our experiences during waking life, and from the food we eat or the medication we take. The famous neurologist and forefather of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, viewed the content of his patients' dreams as a window into their primitive, unconscious desires. Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Carl Jung, who collaborated with Freud, felt Freud's analysis of dreams was too limited. He viewed dreams as a communication from the unconscious as part of the self-regulation of the psyche. While contemporary opinions still differ, modern studies support the theory that dream content is primarily related to the experiences a person has while awake. According to what is known as the continuity hypothesis, our dreams are most likely to contain deep-seated concerns or emotions, which translate into the bizarre visions and experiences we encounter during sleep. One position that scientists agree on, however, is that dreams originate internally. This diverges from the more mystical, spiritual approach, which implies there is some external influence which imparts prophetic or precognitive insights to people through the medium of sleep. Scientists dismiss reports of precognitive dreams for being statistically inevitable. Someone who dreams of a plane crash the night before waking up and finding a real air disaster has occurred could be forgiven for thinking their dream was precognitive. But given the vast number of people globally who slept that night, a small number are bound to have dreamt of such a tragedy. Nevertheless, from a Jewish perspective, the Torah itself describes how God communicates with humans through dreams. Having dreams and interpreting their meaning is one of the prominent threads that runs through the story of Joseph. Commentators have pored over the meaning of these dreams and whether dreams in the post-prophetic era can also contain elements of prophecy. The Talmud indicates that while some dreams are insignificant and meaningless, others have potential to contain prophetic messages. Clearly, the biblical dreams of Joseph, Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's servants fall into the latter category. But before we try and interpret our own dreams, there is one fundamental snag. The medieval commentator Rashi notes Jacob's response to Joseph when relating his second dream about the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowing down to him, representing his leadership over his father, mother, and 11 brothers. Jacob asks, "Will we come, I, your mother, and your brothers, to prostrate ourselves to you?" The primary reason for Jacob's question was that Joseph's mother, Rachel, had already died. Even prophetic dreams contain an admixture of truth and falsehood. In light of Rashi's point, how then do we relate our modern-day dreams, which the Talmud describes as a taste of prophecy? Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, the 18th century Kabbalist known as Ramchal, concurs with the scientific approach that dream content is affected by the thoughts and emotions one experiences, as well as through food and other substances in the body. Yet he also adopts the Talmud's assertion that our modern-day dreams can have prophetic significance or relate to things only the spirit can experience. According to Ramchal, when we sleep, our souls can, on occasion, interact with external spiritual forces. These interactions enter our subconscious awareness and affect the content of our dreams. Nevertheless, even such extraordinary dream experiences are tricky to decipher. However, this is where the Talmudic sages throw the proverbial spanner into the works, for they declare that the interpretation of non-prophetic dreams is more important than the dream itself. Rabbi Chaim Volodsin, in the 19th century, explains that speech is the medium between the spiritual and the physical worlds, and so the interpretation of a dream through speech has the power to bring matters from the potential dream state into actuality. One might conclude that the scientific view of dreams is far more rational and coherent than the spiritual approach. Yet in a recent article, psychologist Dr. Patrick McNamara notes that a wide range of unexplained dream phenomena, such as shared dreams and precognitive dreams containing exquisite, incontrovertible detail, are widely reported. He admits that science has no good explanations for such astonishing phenomena, for science has no place to put them within the current worldview, but this is all the more reason to investigate them. Quite true, but if a purely physicalist perspective of reality cannot answer such mysteries, perhaps we should resist writing off spiritual explanation so quickly. So again, that was the article that I found. And personally, I am a believer of what can be proved. However, there is a part of me that wonders if our dreams do hold a special message for us from a source beyond the provable. When I dream of a day at work with a particularly trying class, is it really just my system working out a plan of action or reliving a bad day? Or is there something beyond my scope of understanding that is trying to get me to see something that I've missed? When I dream of a world that is actually environmentally sustainable, is that really just my wishes being expressed? Or is it something beyond my scope of understanding, trying to convince me that there is something more that I could do to make this become an actual reality? Is it good to dwell on the potential hidden meanings of dreams, almost giving them power in our lives? Is it good to ignore dreams, casting aside as excess thinking or processing time? Perhaps we're meant to do a bit of both. The dreams we feel we connect with, if we can remember them, are ones that are worth thinking about a bit, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? We conclude our service on page 135 as we rise for the prayer for the state of Israel. Sur Yisrael v'go'elo, barechna et medinat Yisrael, hagshamat tikvatenu. Rock and Redeemer of Israel, place your blessing upon the state of Israel, the realization of our hope for a Jewish homeland. Send your light and your truth to all its inhabitants. Spread over them the shelter of your peace. Bestow insight upon its leaders, judges, and representatives, as they pursue justice, freedom, and integrity. Visit blessing upon all your people Israel wherever we dwell. Plant the love of Zion into our hearts, that our footsteps may race to walk upon its soil. And may the vision of your prophet Isaiah soon be fulfilled. For Torah shall come forth from Zion, and God's word from Jerusalem. And let us say, Amen. We continue with the Aleinu on page 149. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liatzer breshit, Asher samchakenu liached et shemo, v'gor aleinu lahamlich malchuto, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech mochei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar v'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol ha'aretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. We turn to page 158 as we're seated. You are with us in our prayer, in our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble and pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. At this time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those of our friends and neighbors, and all those whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We recall the names of the following whose yortzeit, the anniversary of whose death, occurs this week. Alan Gersh, uncle of Doreen Levine. Flora Bartikoff, grandmother of Cheryl Englander and Rabbi Lawrence Englander. Sonia Feynman, wife of Barry, mother of Simon and Daniel, grandmother of Aaron, Joshua, Taylor, and Mackenzie. Albert Marlowe, father of John. Marjorie Hines, mother of Yolanda Smith. Rivka Yakar, mother-in-law of Yvonne Benruti. Irving Perlin, father of Dennis. Dorothy Adler, aunt of Brian Laskin. Patricia Miller, mother-in-law of Judy, grandmother of Debbie Tsarnicki. Philip Kudetsky, father of Debbie Berkovich. Joseph Bass, father of Brad, grandfather of Natan. Doris Adelson, mother of Yvonne. Ethel Goldberg, mother of Philip, grandmother of Alina and Michelle. Jennifer Kuraki, cousin of Albert Amar. If there are any other names you would like to add for Kaddish, you are invited to do so at this time. And we ask the mourners among us to please rise first, so that we might say to you, Min hamakom tinachamu. May you find comfort in God's sheltering presence. We all rise to support those who are mourning and to say Kaddish for those who have no one to say it for them. On page 159, we repeat these words, hallowed by the generations. Yit kadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyamechon, u'vchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mirmav, hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. I have a few announcements this evening from the board. First, I would like to give a big thank you to everybody joining us this evening through Zoom. I know this storm threw a little bit of a wrench in all of our plans for this night of Hanukkah and this night of Shabbat, but I appreciate you being here with us, and I would like to give a huge thank you to Joel and Sandy for being my huge tech saviors this evening. And we do have a regular service tomorrow morning in person at 10 a.m. Fingers crossed that the storm doesn't get any worse, but as of right now, that will be happening. And next weekend on Friday, December 30th at 8 p.m., we are also having a regular Erev Shabbat service in person again. And on Saturday, December 31st, there will be a regular Shabbat morning service starting at 10. For current activities, updates, and announcements, you can always check out our Solel Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. And of course, our website will always be up to date as well. After the winter break, beginning on Sunday, January 15th, Rabbi Englander will be leading 6 sessions with 5 books of the Bible, each with a different story and Jewish festival. So you can check out Solel's webpage for the topics. And again, that's starting January 15th and will continue through February 19th at 10 a.m. via Zoom. Tuesday morning minions are on hiatus for the time being, but they will be continuing 7 a.m. on January 10th. So please do come join us for a brief service and a lovely, delicious community breakfast. And save the dates for January 16th. There will be a book review with Arlene at 8 p.m. through to 9 p.m. by Zoom. We will be discussing Button Man by Andrew Gross, a historical thriller set in the 1920s through the 1930s in New York. And on Tuesday, January 24th, there will be a lunch and learn with Arlene at 11:30 through to 1 p.m. again by Zoom. The link will be provided, and topic is Spain, its Jewish past, presence, and future. And it will be led by our very own Leah Spoconi Stock from Spain. And we are continuing to do Solel's Living Torah project. So if you would like to be a part of writing Solel's new Torah scroll, we do ask that you contact the office for some information on how to go about doing that. And I believe that is it. We have a lot going on considering it's the end of the year. So again, thank you so much. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your evening. Stay warm, stay safe, and enjoy the last couple of nights of Hanukkah.